Hello everyone, and thank you for stopping by my YouTube channel, Get Crafty with Sally. My name is Sally Pool. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. And today I'm going to be making this cute spool card. It is a pretty old design or cut. I made one, gosh, I don't even know, many years ago, way before I was a demonstrator. And I just ran across it in my stuff the other day, so I thought I would make some more. So let me show you what you're going to need to make this card. I am using a piece of Misty Moonlight. It's 4 inches by 11 inches, scored at 5 1/4. This is for the base, and we're going to punch it and cut it. A piece of Countryside Inn Designer Series paper. It is 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. A piece of basic white, 3 3/4 by 5 1/4, just for the inside. And then you're going to need just a scrap of basic white for stamping a sentiment and then your little flowers. I do have a PDF of all of the measurements and supplies linked in the description below this video. I will show you some additional cards, same card, different design, at the end of the video. Hopefully I'll remember. And I will link all of that information to the sizes and the products that I used. So let's get started with this card. Sorry, you'll also need a piece of ribbon, and I just bought this at my local Joann's store. I cut it at about 4 1/4 inches. You could also take any of the nice little straight edge dies that Stampin' Up has, floral or like that torn page, and use that instead. You could use paper instead of actual ribbon. So let me show you how we're going to do this. We are using a envelope punch board. This one is from Stampin' Up. I think I have a few others. I don't use them very often. I think they're pretty much all the same, so it really doesn't matter what you would use. So let's take our Misty Moonlight base, and I've scored it. Let me give it a crease with my bone folder. Sorry for reaching in front of the camera. So I'm going to set this on my punch board, and I'm actually going to punch it out at 1.5 inches. For those of you that don't have these boards, you can see all of the little measurements that are up here, and this is where it's going to punch. So I'm going to put this edge at 1.5 inches, and you want to make sure it's all pushed straight against this edge. I'm going to give it a punch. Kind of hard to punch sometimes. I'm going to flip it over, line it up at 1.5 inches again, give it another punch, flip it down to the other side, line it up at 1.5 inches, punch it, flip it over, line the last side up at 1.5 inches, and give it a punch. So that's what you end up with there. So now we need to cut this little piece off to make our spool. So I'm going to bring in my trimmer, and I'm going to just set this at the bottom, and I'm going to line it up so that I can see the center of my cutting track. And I'm going to slide my blade down. You want to set it down in this area. I'm going to give it a press, and I'm going to scoot it up, and you can feel it when it hits that blank spot, and slide it down. And then I'm going to turn it over and do the same thing on the other side. Press the blade down. It's pretty obvious when you're off the paper to that spot. So there's our spool, and this is the base. So we've cut through both of the pieces at the same time. So let's also do our inside of the card while we're at it. This is also 3 3/4 by 5 and excuse me, it's 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. It is the inside, so it is a different side. And I'm going to punch this at 1 1/4 because I want it to be a little bit smaller than the outside was. So we'll line that up at 1 1/4, punch it, flip it over, punch it, flip it over, punch it, flip it over. You get the idea. So let's also cut our piece of, or punch our piece of Designer Series paper while we have the punch board out, and it's the same size as the inside piece. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to punch these at 1 1/4. So you can find whatever Designer Series paper that you like. Anything would be wonderful. I dug through some of my older paper and found this. I thought it might be fun on the spool. It is from a really old pack called Etc. Designer Series paper. So I thought I'd try it with maybe something from the Crafting with You set. That might be cute. Okay, so let's set our punch board aside, bring our trimmer back in, and I'll grab the inside piece, line it up with the bottom, cut that edge out, and then do the same thing on the other side. And it doesn't have to be perfect. If you don't have it lined up exactly right in the center of that track, nobody's going to be able to tell. Okay, so there's our inside and our front Designer Series paper piece. So you could either, if you want to just put this piece on the front as is, it's going to fit perfectly the way that we just cut it. So you could just glue this down and then decorate it the way it is. But I'm actually going to cut it because I flipped my pieces over so I wasn't using all the same pieces on this card. So I'm going to show you how to do that in case you want to do it. So you want to cut 1.25 inches off of each end. So I'm going to line this up at 1.25 inches over here. And I'm going to cut that. So there's our top. I'm going to flip it over and line it up at 1.25 inches again over here. This time I don't have my other piece here to make it even with, so you're going to have to line it up with the line on the trimmer. See if I can do it with the light reflecting. So there's our bottom piece. And then you want a little bit of a gap in between these 3 pieces. So I'm actually going to cut just 1/8 of an inch off of each end. You could cut 1/4 of an inch off of one end, but if you'll notice, there is a little tiny bit of a flare in that paper. So I like to have them matching. Okay, so there's our paper. So you can either leave it like this, you can do it this way, which is what I think I'll do today, or you can turn them all over this way, which is the way I did it on this card. In the instructions, I say that you also need a scrap of basic white for the sentiment and the flowers. I've already stamped the sentiment and the flowers just to save time. And I stamped the flowers. Let's see, I've got a few of them here to choose from. They are from the Two-Tone Flora set. And I've used this set here. It is a 2-stamp set, so you'll need both of these stamps to create this flower. And then I also used this smallest flower as well. And let's see, the sentiment that I used for this card is from the Layering Leaves stamp set. It's a newer set. Got a bunch of beautiful sentiments in it in these really nice fonts. So we're using the 4U stamp. And let me see. I am cutting the stamp sentiment out with a, let's see, I think it's the second from the smallest circle in the Stylish Shapes set. So that I've got right there. So let's put our card together. And it's best if you attach the bottom and the top first, so then you can get your spacing pretty even on the middle piece. So let's put some glue, and I was going to do it this way. Yes, I almost did it the same way as the first card. And if you're going to put the ribbon on, or any other kind of cut piece of decorative whatever. I have got a weird cutting edge sticking up, so I'm going to press that down. Stuff like that bothers me for some reason. Anyway, I hope that I don't forget to put the ribbon on before I glue the centerpiece down, because then it'll be too late. Okay, so let's get our ribbon. And I had a terrible time figuring out which was the right side of this, and I finally decided it was by the stitching. This looked like more even stitching, and this looks like the loopy stuff. On my other card, I did glue it, and then I set a stamp block on top of it, but I think I'll just put some glue dots on it today. So I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive there. Grab a piece of grid paper. Okay, so let's make sure we've got the back, and I don't. See if we can grab a few glue dots here. And I am getting them stuck to my fingers as well. Got one that doesn't want to come off. Okay, that should be plenty. So I'll try to line this up with the top edge. I'm going to have to scoot it down a little bit. I can't see it. The top edge of this paper. Give that a press. Oops, I did it wrong. I did it on the wrong side. I thought, where is my tape runner tape? I'm not feeling it. Let's try that again. Well, good grief. Shouldn't be that hard. Okay. Let's put a little more tape on here. I think I can line that up a little bit better from the back. All right. And normally I would put tape on this, but I think glue is going to hold it better. So I'm going to put a good amount of glue down. I probably will still set something on this when I'm done to make sure that it dries really flat. All right, we're getting there. So I stamped these flowers. I did several different colors for both sizes, and I used boho blue, misty moonlight, and night of navy, and it's the same color on each flower. I just stamped it off. So the detailed inside stamp, I stamped in the darker ink, and then the fill stamp, I stamped off the same color and then stamped the fill. So let's put, I think I'll put a light colored one, big flower. And I just love this paper with these bunnies on it. So I might put the flowers on this one. I think I'll use a darker one. I was going to put it down here, but I think I'll put it up here in the center, since I don't really have any rabbits to look at on this card. So let's, I'm not sure. I think that's the right way up. So let's put that there. And then I'll take I guess I'll use another dark one. And I actually should have put it underneath the bigger one. So let's see if I can get my fingernail under there. So there's that one. And then I'll take a lighter one and a dimensional. Oh boy, here we go. So there's our flowers. Now let's attach our sentiment. And I don't know if you can see it or not, I did in the background stamped off in Misty Moonlight. It is, let's see, it is this stamp from Two Tone Flora. I just didn't want it to be so white. So let's put a dimensional on the back of that. And I'll actually lay it over my ribbon just a little tiny bit. And then we don't need these. And now we're going to grab our pearl basic jewels that you can't get anymore. You could use rhinestones or the iridescent jewels. And let's put a medium one. I think I'll just set it right there. And then a small one up by that bunny. And then a small one let's see, how about in this flourish? And then also if you wanted to put your piece on the inside so that you could write to somebody on it, you would add this piece of basic white that we've cut out. So that just fits right in there. And that's how that front Designer Series paper piece would have been if we hadn't cut it. So there's the one that we just made. There's the one that I had previously made, and you can see how the papers are switched. So this makes it really nice if you want to do that, because you can use the same paper and flip it over a lot of the times. So I also have this one that I made from a lot of older sets, mainly Very Versailles. So I'll have all of the instructions for this, the supplies that I used. It's the same measurement. And then I also made this one. So this was kind of fun in pink, and I did use this from the crafting set. And then I also made a smaller size. These are kind of fun. You wouldn't even have to put a sentiment on there. I actually made a boo-boo up here with the edge of a stamp. I got the ink on it, so I decided to put that little sentiment up there. And then here's another one of that same card with the bubble bath background. This one has the azure afternoon. So there's that one. And then I also made an envelope that fits these. And you can make, obviously, envelopes from the envelope punch board. So how cute is that? And these are really easy to make too. So anyway, that is my project for today. I hope you like it. If you have any questions, you can email me at dannydog75@hotmail.com, or just leave a comment below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. I would appreciate it if you'd hit the like button, share my video with your friends and family, and it would be really awesome if you would subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate you. I thank you for spending some time with me today, and I will see you next time. Have a great day.